Look, do you see? Oh,
No, it's warm enough. It's warm enough to wear this.
oh my God. You look nice though.
Very nice blouse.
Thank you.
Look very good. Very good.
She bought it in Taiwan.
All right.
During our trip. I told her she must get the blouse. She must.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hello, Maya. Hello, Anson. Good to see you. How are you today?
Very well.
Good.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So I found out. No, not that I found out. I kind of realized that to simplify how to get into high vibrations is to get into the state of gratitude, love, right? Well, of course, appreciate whatever you have, even if it's only one thing, and then compassion.
Oh yes.
Any other thing is not.
Yeah. There's two. I'm gonna teach two types of compassion. There's ruthless compassion, and then there's compassion.
Ruthless. Ooh, ruthless.
John the Baptist was in charge of ruthless compassion.
What is that ruthless?
There's soft love and tough love, right?
Ruthless. What is ruthless? Compassion. Oh, okay.
That tough love.
Oh, tough love.
Tough
Like, I love you, so you must do my thing.
love. Kind of.
Well, I know I'm in that uncomfortable zone. Last night I couldn't sleep. I was in an uncomfortable zone.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I have to get out of my comfort zone. So I
Okay.
couldn't sleep, and then my body wasn't reacting as well.
Okay, so in the first place, it's the way how you classify your situation.
Oh, look at the teacher.
Oh, you see?
So
I have to listen to her. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm still learning. So use a softer word.
Yes.
Okay, it's a new place, but I'm sure it's gonna be nice. It's better.
Yeah.
Why you go scare yourself to death? See?
Exactly.
Because there's something I'm not yet master it, so that's why.
Okay, but you're right on point. High five.
Yeah, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna meet people that will. I tell myself this morning, I'm lovable. People are going to be happy working with me. But I'm still, my body is, every single cell is still not working very well.
So you said but.
I know.
But.
I know.
Yeah.
It's okay, but.
Yeah. Still have resistance. I would have to be.
No
resistance.
A little
Learn
bit.
to put a full stop. Learn to stop.
Okay. Let me show you this.
Stop.
Let me show you this. This is what Tasha was saying this morning because we went to the boot camp yesterday together. Yeah, Tasha. See? Slap yourself. Did somebody slap you? Yesterday she was slapped 5 times. So you got to call 5 people. So funny. This morning because 2 of us got it yesterday. Oh, where's Tasha? Anyway, this morning I already heard this. She was running, she was walking in the morning, even in the rain.
Even in the rain.
Well, yeah.
Well, see, aren't you glad I made the rain stop for the moment?
Oh.
I wait on my
2019. My message for you today is, it's too hard. And again, I do these messages because I need to inspire and encourage myself. So
This is what we're going through.
when you talk to yourself and you hear yourself saying stuff like, it's too hard, I can't do it, It's too much work. I don't want to do all of that. Why? Why do we have to do this? When you hear yourself saying that, you need to call a friend that's not going to let you make those excuses.
That's right.
She cannot call me.
Tell them what you're thinking, and then let them unleash on you.
Let them unleash on you.
Oh, Lord, it's the hardest thing in the world. Good morning, Audrey. Happy Sunday. Today's message is, it's too hard. When you feel and you hear yourself inside of your head say, this is too hard, you need to get on the phone with somebody that's going to slap you around and rough you up and give you some tough love.
Some tough love.
Make you feel a little uncomfortable.
That ruthless compassion.
A little pissed off.
That ruthless compassion.
Hello, Virginia. Happy Sunday. How are you? Get with some people. Get with your success circle. 5 people that will not allow you to make excuses and
That's
to give
right.
up.
That's right.
When you hear that little voice in your head, it's too hard. It's too hard. I can't do it. I don't want to. Why? You got that little baby inside of you that's going, wah, wah. Every time you set a goal, every time you start thinking about your dreams, every time you want to go bigger and go to the next level, that little baby inside of you starts crying and whining and kicking and screaming and saying, no, I don't want to do anything different.
That's right.
I don't want to get outside of my comfort zone. Get up at 5. What you mean do 2 miles in the pouring rain
You.
in the middle of nowhere? What you mean? Why you, when you hear that little baby voice inside of you telling you to stop, they start kicking and screaming and you need to get around 5 adult friends who are going to slap you back into reality and kick you in the butt and push
Wow.
you back. And say, no, this ain't no game. This is your life.
This is your life.
You said you wanted to do a marathon in December. That's my goal. So I'm talking to myself, y'all. I really hope this message helps you. Because this is really for me. I do this for myself. And hopefully it'll get into your spirit. And it'll get you into your bones. And it'll make you get up off your booty right now. And figure out what your goals are and get moving. And stop making them excuses. Excuses are like armpits. Everybody has them and they stink. Get your butt up and do something exciting today.
That's right.
Something that scares you to death. Because when you're done with that activity, you're going to feel so blessed.
That's right.
You'll be like, I did that. I'm proud of me. Oh my gosh, I did it. Yeah, so I'm doing a marathon in December. And I'm way off my training schedule. I'm walking, I'm piddling, I'm crawling. I'm doing just enough to get by. I'm being mediocre and average with my training. And I got up this morning and I said, nope. Nope. I talked to my husband. He said, nope. He said, nope. He said, I'm not going to allow you to fall back. I'm not going to allow you to fall back. I had a Zoom meeting last night with a lady that's in my organization, and she slapped me around a little bit. She said, nope, I'm not going to allow it. Get rid of the pity party. I talked to another person. They said, nope.
Yep.
So that was 3 people. Boom, 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 whammy. And then I went to a training yesterday and got slapped around there by the trainer. And so what I'm saying, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 people that slapped me around yesterday. So what I'm saying is when you start acting like a baby, you hear that voice in your mind that's kicking and screaming and saying, no, it's too hard, I ain't doing all that. I can't do all of that. You need to get around 3 or 4 or 5 people who are going to take the bottle and the pacifier out your mouth, slap you around a little bit, say, what you mean you ain't gonna do it? You said you wanted to make 20K this month. What you mean you ain't gonna make them phone calls? What you mean you ain't gonna get up and go talk to people? What you mean? What you mean? What you mean? That's what's too hard.
Too hard to be
It's too
perfect.
hard to make ends meet and save for your retirement when you ain't got no money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's too hard. It's too hard to sit up there and watch your kids go to their prom and you ain't got no money to give them for spending money. What? That's too hard. It's too hard. You're running around here trying to figure out if you want to put gas in the car or buy groceries. Anybody have that situation? It's too hard when you go to the store and you know you only got $40 for the week for groceries.
Sound like she's preaching to
That's
me.
too hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's too hard. It's too hard.
This is what I
I
hear all week.
myself saying that every day in my own head. I want to throw up in my mouth every time I hear myself say that. So because you can't really control you can't really discipline you as well as other people could. You need to get on the phone with somebody and say, "This is my stinking thinking. Help me get back into my right mind." The Bible says, "Renew your mind daily." Renew your mind. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That means you got to put information in there that's going to help you. You got to put information in your mind that's going to push you. And then after you're done reading and renewing your mind, you got to go talk to some other people who are also renewing their minds. Because they're going to give you the word. They're going to give you the truth. And the truth is always going to set you free, people. The next time you hear yourself saying, "It's too hard. It's too hard. I can't do it." Good morning, E.G. How you doing? Happy Sunday. My message is it's too hard. If you hear yourself saying that, it's too hard. It's too hard.
Yeah. So firstly, I think the message is a bit too long. I'm gone halfway.
Yeah.
Because this is all going on in her mind.
But it's long.
We yesterday I was thinking, and then last night
But
the same thing. Oh, God.
this is the thing that we need to. So she will have to go back and evaluate this message that she's sending out. Firstly, it's hard. Okay, it's hard. I can't do it.
Right.
No. She's going to do it, but she's talking in her mind.
Well,
But I need to get out from the
thoughts.
yeah.
So here's what's good about what she's saying is because it leads into our message. Because on the email, I know I sent you the same ones, but this is the additional on pages 140 of Master of Christ Conscious. It's titled, "You Alone Have the Power to Create Your Own Experience."
Yeah.
So she's creating her what? Own experience.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's acknowledging it. So that leads up to what we're going to talk about today, which is actually perfect, even though long, but on point. Because when you look at the first question, if you have the first email, the first question is, who is the creator of your reality?
Us, our thoughts.
Right? So once we acknowledge that we're the creator of our thoughts, then you alone have the only responsibility of creating that reality. Nobody else can create that reality for you. So we have to do what?
Change that thought.
Change that thought. What's the easiest way to change that thought?
It's easy.
If you are doing it in high vibration.
That's one way. But what's the easiest, quickest way to change the thought?
Neutrality.
What's the first thing I taught you? Satisfying thought.
Yeah.
Because if you always go back to the basic of satisfying thought, if Tasha would go back to the satisfying thought, those bad thoughts would be minimized. And she wouldn't call them bad thoughts. She would call them what? Experiences. You alone have the power to what? Create your own experience, which means you create your own what? Reality. So every morning she wakes up to a reality of bad, but I need some help, which is okay. So look at the repetitive cycle over and over and over and over and over. So does she get better or does she get worse? Because what if those people aren't around? You ever reach out to people and they're not there to be found?
No. Yes.
Try to make that phone call and it goes to voicemail.
She will not call me because she was thinking I was going through that experience, which I did.
Right. But it's a transformation of the mind. So when she says, let this mind be in you, or the renewing of the mind, it's really going back to that satisfying thought and saying, you know what, I can acknowledge this is an experience that I brought into my reality. That's really what happened. And take accountability that I brought it to my reality, and nobody else can fix it for me. They can slap me around all day long, but after a while, what happens when the slapping goes away?
It's still stuck there.
You're still stuck there. So now guess what she wakes up to again? So now I got to call these people, and after a while, they're going to get tired of beating you up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, darling.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you?
Good.
Eventually, they're going to get tired of getting slapped around. How are you? Does that make sense?
Yes.
And here's where meditation, and I always emphasize the meditation part of it, and not that she doesn't do it, but finding her own way of meditating to get grounded from those types of thinking. Does that make sense?
Okay, last time I did that all night long, trying to find peace. Okay, I thought the answer is going to come. The answer didn't come. Or maybe my mind is still too busy.
Too busy. Monkey mind. Here's the simplest way. If you cannot find a satisfying thought,
And I couldn't sleep too.
and you can't sleep, count your breaths.
I did.
Keep counting.
Keep counting.
You keep counting your breaths. It's almost like counting sheep. I hate to use the child parable, but it's like counting sheep in your mind, because if you do it over and over and over and over, you're going to get sleepy because it's boring. Who wants to count a sheep? I don't want to count a sheep. Who wants to count 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep, 4 sheep, bills, car note, 5 sheep, 6 sheep. You see what happens?
Yeah.
So again, try to catch that thought before it catches what? Momentum. You have to find a way. You have to find a way.
Yes, you do.
If that way don't work, find another way.
Yes.
And have fun finding the way. Don't complain about I can't sleep.
So in the end, watch the movie. After watching, I say, oh, it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning, so I went to sleep.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah. 4 o'clock in the morning.
And you're well rested. See?
Come here.
No. What? That's why she's very anxious to get here.
Yes. So she can calm
Get
down.
answers from us.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Come on, give me energy.
Yes, exactly. We feed you up and pump you up. Because and here's the thing. Don't beat yourself up when you're in that place.
Right.
It's okay. Say it's okay that I can't fall asleep. It's okay.
It's okay.
Because you're trying to say, I'm missing out on something. I'm thinking about something. I'm worried about something. I can't go to sleep. Why? I can't get comfortable. Did you talk to the mattress?
No.
Did you talk to the pillow? Did you talk to the blanket? Did you talk to the sheets? Did you talk to the air in the room? Did you talk to the body?
Oh, I said love. I said love.
But then you went, she's my witness. Lily, she went, love, but.
No, but the action.
No.
I said love to us.
Yeah, Melissa, you have to know, right? The universe will know whether you're faking it or not.
Yeah. This is not sincere.
Yeah, you're just going through the motion. Okay, I love.
And then we try, okay.
Trying to fake it until you make it. And it doesn't work. It gets worse and worse and worse because you can't outfake yourself. It's like trying to play hide and seek with yourself. You're always going to find yourself. Wherever you go, you're there. So try to find that peace. Try to find that place. Try to find whatever. Even if you got to change rooms. Sometimes I had to go, it's been years, but when I couldn't sleep on my bed, I had to go sleep on the couch. Not because she put me out, because it was more comfortable there. Sometimes it's just like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to just flip the mattress sometimes.
Well,
Going through flipping the mattress is hard work.
yeah.
You gotta flip the pillow. Sometimes you have to sleep on the opposite end of the bed. Sleep
Yeah.
sideways on the bed. Sleep
Yeah.
diagonal.
I did that. I did it all the time.
The whole bed, but then the whole bed didn't like you.
Oh, I didn't say love to my bed. I didn't say love to
They
my
love
pillow.
the bed. And then here's the thing. I always talk about the Weber relationship, that where if you have any issues, any part that you forget about that's there, is still there
To you.
until you heal it, until you rectify it.
Yeah, I
So
think this
if
something.
there's things with work,
Something.
it will carry into your sleep and you will toss and turn all night long because you bring that energy of those people and that situation into the sphere. Does that make sense?
Very uncomfortable, that's why.
So to make you uncomfortable, make you toss and turn. So then you have to say, I bless that situation. I bless that situation. And then don't say but.
So have to, to get over it into another new experience, better experience. We are in I have to be in a satisfying emotion. And then I start telling myself, because today I make affirmation.
Right.
Faking.
Oh, fake affirmation. Okay. At least she's honest. Okay. At least you're honest. Okay.
Because it's reluctant.
Right. It's that resistant thinking.
Yeah, going out of your comfort zone that you never done before. It's not easy.
Right.
Okay. So maybe you should tell yourself, it's not that you're moving out of your comfort zone. It's that you want to get comfortable in the new zone. Can you do that?
I like that.
Yeah, but you have, it
In the new
includes.
zone.
No buts. Just soothe yourself. Just tell yourself, okay, I'm just gonna go forward and have fun, because you don't know what to expect. So why you go and scare yourself? Like, it's definitely uncomfortable. You know, it's not true. It's never true when you go to a new place. It's uncomfortable.
True.
Okay. Look at. Okay. When we moved into this house, we were so comfortable immediately.
Right.
This house is better than the previous one.
Right. And watch this. And I said this last week, that when you understand who you are and the dominion you have over everything that you experience called reality, every place that you walk or every place that you take yourself, you're going to be there. Does that make sense?
Is it Mama Rose?
No, that's my text.
Oh,
Does that make sense? In other words, wherever you go, you have dominion over.
glory God.
You have authority over.
Yes.
But if you don't understand that authority, then you be victimized. Then you become the victim, and then you take that victim home.
Okay, you have an authority of that.
Every place.
Every
that
place.
you go.
Yeah. Okay. So do I have to say the affirmation or no?
No, just be the authority. Be the authority. Okay, here's how we do. Here's how, this is real practice. In this lesson, this is part 1 of transformation, right? But in the previous lessons, if you have your emails, I didn't print this one, but in the previous one, it is called the call to exist for existence to dissolve fear. And it's also one that's called how to expand your awareness. It's on page 29, but I want to go to.
And conflict?
I'll go further. Go to page 130, and I'm gonna let you hold this one, sister. It's actually on page. Let's see. So I will stay here. But it's gonna, we're in page 140, but on the previous one, page 135, there it is.
Oh, I don't have.
You don't have 135? I'll print that one out for you.
Here you go, sure. Oh, okay.
Can y'all read 135 for me?
Yeah. You want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay.
Do y'all have page 135?
Yes.
Okay, they're gonna read it for me. I don't have it with me. Okay, yes.
Okay.
This, go ahead.
Okay, here is a simple exercise. Take just a moment and within your consciousness, drop the simple pebble.
Mhm.
I am not what I have perceived myself to be.
Stop. Everybody say that.
I am not what I have perceived myself to be.
You have not perceived yourself
Myself to be.
the victim of why you can't sleep. Think about it.
Glory God.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
That pebble, I always use the pebble as your thought. That pool is your consciousness. And each time you throw a pebble into your pool of consciousness, it's going to have a what? Ripple effect. The law of attraction. So each time that ripple goes out, it's going to come back with your creation. So as you throw it out, part 2 is God does the work. 3 and 4 is you on that ripple. So when you throw the pebble, that ripple goes out. God does too. When it comes back to you, is it stronger? Absolutely.
Mhm.
So whatever you create, you're going to get back stronger. So if it starts small here, where, okay, I'm not going to try to fake it. I'm not going to try to fake it. Then you fall into I'm faking it, I'm faking it, I'm faking it, I'm trying to do I'm faking it. Look what vibration you have carried.
Okay, but I have a question then. So if you're fighting with those thoughts, do you yield to the thought and why is there such a war in your mind with those thoughts that you don't want?
Good.
Okay, you got the question.
Because you created years of habit.
Right, okay, good.
That's habitual thinking that you've created over the years.
Right.
Hard to break those habits. You are a gardener of your own mind, so you have to de-weed those thoughts.
Okay, now that's the question I have. So I got that because I get that. But
Mhm.
so I think what many of us do
Mm-hmm.
is that we judge ourselves because there's such a battle.
Mm-hmm.
And we're told we're not supposed to have this battle. Is it okay that I'm having this battle, but I'm fighting this battle really well?
Yes,
Okay, that's what we're saying.
absolutely.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this is not the thing. The thing is the reluctance. The
Mhm.
reluctance of not
Here's the question. Who brings the reluctance?
me, of course.
Who creates the reluctance?
We do.
We ourselves do that.
Where did it come from?
From
But
us,
you
of
said
course.
bad thinking over years.
But
Glory
let's
to
go
God.
deeper than that. Go deeper than that. You see what I'm saying? Go to the root of that problem and identify, isolate, and fix it, heal it there.
Yeah. So the bottom line, the root will be the fear, the fear of rejection.
Yes. Now,
And
All
lack
right.
of confidence.
So good there.
So I just have to work on that,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a process. However, I was thinking how to make it easier,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, creating a new thoughts.
Mm-hmm. But
Okay.
here's how you have to do it. You have to tell that story you're creating and believe it.
But the good story, not
The good story, not the repetitive story, and don't put in those details in that story.
right.
That's what people mistake and create.
So
wrong thinking.
create the new story will be I'm confident, I'm lovable, people like me, and they will listen to me. Is it like that?
Yeah, those
Do
affirmations.
you feel that?
Yeah, of course. That
Tell yourself, each one of you, I have unconditional vision and acceptance.
I have unconditional vision
And acceptance.
I felt that one.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I felt that one.
Hey, darling, look at this pocket here. How are you? Good to see you. Come on in. Welcome up.
How are you?
That's our Canadian family. That's Anson. This is Miss Washington.
Miss
This-
Washington.
Mhm.
Hi.
We had a great conversation. This is Lily. They're from Canada. There you go. Have a seat. Have a seat.
Thank you. We're going through this. Okay. You're
Go
home
ahead.
because you're sitting in the assignment.
Okay.
We're sharing.
Okay, y'all can finish reading. I'm kind of jumping around in my lesson, but they had a great question. Go ahead.
Okay, so I am unlimited, pure spirit, and nothing is unavailable to me.
Ooh, did everybody hear that?
And I felt that one.
Everybody have to not only read those words, be those words.
Right.
And the way you practice is, what does unconditional really mean to you?
Meaning we are unbeatable.
That's it.
But I want to share with on what you're saying, Melissa, is that we're not where we used to be. Like you're catching those thoughts and say, this is not what I'm supposed to be thinking. So we rejoice just in the fact that we're not yielding to those thoughts.
Correct.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's why when he
You're
says make it a
catching
game,
thought.
although I don't like them, I'm yet now catching them.
Mhm.
So I'm better than I was prior to all of what I'm learning.
But here's the fun thing about the game.
Okay.
The game can be started over.
Exactly.
Right.
So create a new thought.
Absolutely.
Right. That's why.
But
say
you
these
have
words,
to
right?
know who you are
Yeah.
Absolutely.
in the image and the likeness with authority and dominion,
Yeah.
that every place that the sole of your foot tread upon, you have dominion, because what? You are unstoppable. You are
Yes.
ceaseless. You are
Oh, yeah.
limitless.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was just gonna add to that, but
Go
I
ahead.
don't need to. Well,
Come on, people. Don't hold your tongue.
that's what clothed in righteousness is all about.
Yeah.
It permeates every cell. It permeates every atom.
Mm.
And in that righteousness, we are no longer vulnerable,
There you go.
because, for example, Adam said in the garden when God was looking for him, well, we're naked. Naked means we're vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Mhm.
And we are now, because of righteousness, because of the righteousness of God clothing us, we are
Conscious.
now completely invulnerable.
Mhm.
There is no vulnerability unless we allow it.
Mhm. Makes sense.
That's good stuff.
Perfect. Absolutely. Go ahead, teach.
No, no.
Go ahead, keep going. Keep going. But does that make sense? Keep going.
Okay, therefore, in this moment,
Mhm.
I choose to open and accept or access to other dimensions of experience so that I might call this moment in a different way.
So call each moment. I teach you what? Always be in the what?
Now.
In the now. Always be in the what? Now, because that's all it is what? Now. There is no future. There's no past. It's only now.
Right.
What you create now determines what you would call your future. In other words, what you create now is going to go ahead of you and you're going to meet it there. That experience. You project your things out ahead and then you catch up with it. That's why I always say words don't teach. They only catch the vibration of what you're trying to express. So when you express the bad, you get more of the bad. And when I call other people, they don't want to hear the bad, so of course they're going to beat you up. I don't want you ruining my day with bad. So each time, you know how hard work it is to shut other people's mouths from telling other stories that don't benefit them or influence them or guide them or lead them in the path that they should be going. Not that it's a bad thing, but again, what happens when we're not there? You have to be able to stand with God alone and create that experience. Does that make sense? But you have to know that you are unlimited. You have unconditional vision and unconditional what? Acceptance. So now when you know that you are accepted by everybody, why? Because everybody is your brother and sister. They're just like you because you're all one and there's no separation between the one. Now there's no fear. How could there be fear if you're seeing yourself? That's why we had the 30-day unconditional challenge where you had to look at others for 30 days through the eyes of God with what? Unconditional love. That way you don't take that into fear of being around other people picking up their energies of how are they going to judge me? How are they going to look at me? Are they going to judge me because of how I talk? Are they going to judge me because of my color? Are they going to judge me because of what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. Who cares? You are the creator of your reality, not them. And as soon as you let them create your reality, you start telling their story for you.
That's good.
Now, when it falls off, guess who's disappointed? You, because you dictate you. Now they're the puppet masters over you. And when I say that, I'm talking about in a general context, meaning your jobs, the people you encounter, the things, those type of things. Does that make sense? Yeah, pull it up. Okay, keep going, please. Oh, 11. Hallelujah. Oh, go ahead. Good morning, Mama Rose.
Good morning, Pastor.
All right.
As the words are spoken, notice what images begin to come into your field of awareness as you perhaps image yourself to be imagine yourself to be far more than just the body, abiding in far greater dimensions than the physical dimension. Do you see fleeting images other than beings, colors of light, subtle feelings that perhaps you have had that you had not been aware of while you were focusing on the language translation of the vibrations?
Everybody catch what that means? If not, I'll break it down. If not,
Break it down.
okay, it should be ever broken. Basically, everything starts from vibration, sound, and color. Your emotions. Okay, from those emotions, you create a current effect that ripple back to you. Cause and effect, the law of attraction. Okay, go back and read that other part.
Do you see?
When you see the fleeting images, where do the images come from?
Other beings.
Beings, colors of light, subtle feelings that perhaps you had not been aware of while you were focusing on the language translation.
In other words, when you're focusing on how bad it is, you don't see the beauty of God.
Glory God.
You don't see the glory of God. You cannot serve two masters. You're either going to love one or hate the other. You can't say all bad, but I'm good. It ain't gonna work. Because every cell in your body goes, that ain't the truth. We still feel bad. Right? And your cell will not allow you to trick yourself.
Right.
Your mind might, but your body won't. That's why you always hear me say, spirit leads, what? Mind follows, body obeys.
Right.
In that order. You are triune just like the Father.
Exactly.
That's why on the way here, I was using that theory.
Spirit lead, mind follows, body obeys. Let that be your affirmation if you're going to have an affirmation. But your real affirmation is me and my Father are one. Me and my Father are one. Once you have that affirmation and go into breathing, then you'll sleep easy. I promise you. Change rooms if you have to, but next time go bless that bed. You remember last week? You remember last week? I said, I think who brought up the cart example? We were talking about. I think Sudi had the example of the cart where we were pushing the cart and one of the wheels were bad. Was that right? Okay, he used the example of moving the cart, and that's kind of how our thoughts are. When you go and grab that bad cart that every person who had issues touched the handle. Isn't that handle hot when you touch it?
Yes, glory God.
You feel the vibration of that thing. And then guess what? You start digging through all the other carts to get the cart. Don't feel bad. Who got the good wheel? So you don't be trying to push this cart through the grocery store and the cart keeps doing this.
That could be a metaphor of some of our days.
That's your day, and that's how your mind is. You push that thought, that cart, with the bad will, trying to make it work, going down the aisle of your creation, trying to pick the stuff that you need. And then you don't pick the top shelf, you pick the bottom shelf. Why? Because it's easy and it's cheaper. with the bad cart and wheel.
Get the better card. Go
So now when I lay down, I guess what I created.
a bad card.
So now, am I gonna have a good sleep experience? Of course not. How many of y'all blessed the cart? I just love you. You gonna have some fun. You my cart buddy. Said that in line and everybody fell out laughing. You're my line buddy. You're my, here's what happened. You know I love this story.
Glory
I was decreeing and declaring, practicing, always practice makes perfection, right?
Yeah.
So I went in and there was no baskets. Who created that?
You.
I did. I wanted an experience.
Okay.
Oh, you tell yourself there's no basket.
You said it on purpose.
Subconsciously.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if there's no baskets?
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to carry these items. My feet's gonna hurt, my arms gonna hurt. I have all these items.
Where did that thought initiate?
No, he's practicing.
Okay.
No, but I thought that
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying.
because I had a bad experience before that from a previous time and carried that thought into this one. Into this now it's kind of,
Which means you gotta disassociate from it.
there you go. You gotta
Don't
cut
think
that
that.
ties.
Yeah.
Anson had a good one where he used the exact same thing where he was like, oh, I hope I don't walk into the movie theater and some kids behind me kicking the seat. And what happened? He gets in the movie theater and somebody kicking the seat.
Right. So as the thought starts to formulate, that negative thought, you've got to stop it. You've got to cut it off right there.
Catch that thought.
You've got to, yeah.
It's hard. I'm not gonna say it's not hard because you created one, you've had 5 different teachings. You've had it from your mom and daddy called family. You've had it from culture. You've had it from society. You've had it from education, and you've self-created your own.
And it's all experiential, which has nothing to do with truth.
Nothing, zero. Other than what you are true being yourself, that ain't the truth. That you are limited. All these are limited thinking, limited believings. limited thoughts.
So every day, like you say, we are the creator of our reality.
Mhm.
So every day in the morning, you start telling yourself, okay, today's going to be a good day, a beautiful day, a satisfying day. I'm going to have a satisfying.
Let's back up before you get there.
Before you go.
I call you all gods.
Uh-huh.
Little G, not the big G, because you are in the image and the likeness.
Mhm.
When I call you that, it's not to pump you up, but to give you an image of who you are.
Right.
And I want you to go in your mind and picture what that is. Let me help you. God does not have a top, nor bottom, no sides, no left, no right, pure, positive, unconditional love.
So he never has a bad day.
Never has a bad day. And if you want to call it that bad day, it's so fine-tuned that it's not even noticeable to him.
He can't have a
Cannot
bad day.
have it.
He can't.
Not that it does not exist, because there's the dichotomy. There's always the dichotomy.
Okay, so meaning starting from waking up in the morning, you're always happy in.
Melissa has no top, no bottom.
Yeah, so the feeling has to be like that.
Yeah, but see yourself there. See yourself as pure, positive energy.
And then so when we go through our day,
Mhm.
okay,
Go to that place.
so things come to us every day, right?
Mhm.
Okay, when bad things come to us,
Smile.
okay, we smile, we go into the neutrality
Mhm.
stage,
Oh my
Mhm.
God.
and
Yes.
then we create a new reality,
From that
right?
place.
Right.
Right? Oh
Mhm.
no,
But here's
I
the
want to this to be blah blah blah
Don't
blah.
move until you are inspired to move by that thought.
Yes.
Because people move before trying to fake it and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So in other words, when you're in a place of neutrality, God is getting all the cooperative components behind the scene that you don't need to see or worry about. He's taking care of all of that. So the place of neutrality is that place. Does that make sense? So don't get ahead of yourself. It's okay to get the affirmations, but it's kind of like when you buy that car, you know when to go buy the car.
It's about fleshing it out.
Mhm.
There's a point where the thought's there, but
Mhm.
then that thought has to take form.
and be in alignment with what your vibration is trying to express.
Exactly.
So when we're in neutrality, we stop.
Yes.
We don't do nothing.
Correct. Leave it alone.
Leave it alone
Mhm.
and then do something else.
Correct. Because it's always working. You're always creating. So
But in the meantime, we ask, right? We
Yeah.
do the 5 process, right? I want this to be blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
right?
you're always, hear me well, you're always in step 5 and step 1. Always.
Asking.
Whether you think you are or not, you're always asking.
Yes.
My job is to get you aware of what you're asking for. Lily, I got you. Sister Williams, go ahead.
Real quick, because when you said in a place of neutrality, because of, some mornings it's harder for me to get up, right?
Mhm.
Because I've got all those thoughts, right?
Mhm.
And so those thoughts, like, okay, and I'm learning how to stop the thoughts. But what I did this morning, the reason why I'm late, was I went on my grass and I thought of you,
Great.
and I walked my grass. And I was on the phone with my daughter. And I said, well, Dr. Megan said, walk the grass. She's like, what?
Mhm.
So I walked the grass, and I realized when you're talking about the place of neutrality came
Mhm.
when I thought it was a long time,
Mhm.
and I stopped and I closed my eyes and I started breathing with my
Yeah.
phone in my hand.
Mhm.
And when I opened my eyes, I almost fell because I had gotten so caught up into I had forgot who I was in a place of neutrality.
Yep.
And it was so amazing
Yep.
that I asked my daughter, I said, how long was I on the phone? And she said, I don't know, what are you talking about? But time was not
No
even there.
existence.
There's no time.
No time.
But just that moment, Melissa, all of those thoughts that were in bed had left,
They
and
do.
I got the joy of the Lord.
That's why I said
In that
you
place
have
of
to
meditation.
find it. You have to find it. You have to find it. You have to work. Faith without works is dead. You have to find it. You have to find that. You have to find that satisfying thought. Go ahead, Lily. Did you have a question, Lily? Oh, okay. But does that make sense, though?
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is how you expand your awareness. And this is the exercise that I probably should have taught it, but I skipped over it because I was kind of thought y'all are there. But this is the exercise that you have to do every day. Every single day. Every single day is a practice. And you're practicing it well, keep practicing it, but don't beat yourself up when you're losing the game per se, because there's no losing. There's no losing. There's no losing. Matter of fact, if you want to rewrite the rules to you can do that. You see what I'm saying? Keep going.
Okay. What do you notice drifting through the field of your awareness? Pay attention to it, for you cannot imagine what you have not or are not experiencing.
Let me see.
You are.
Where? You are the field of consciousness. Having that experience now, you create the capacity. You decide what will enter into your field. You decide. You decide. Nobody else. Nobody dictates what happens outside your home other than you. This is why I always say the affirmation, I am created, what?
In the image
and
likeness of God.
I am free. And nothing sources my experience but me in what? Each moment. And nothing whatsoever affects me except for that which I allow to affect me. I need do nothing. Need do nothing. Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just like, whoa. Now, this is not a teaching moment, this is a question. So you've gotten into a negative situation because you've allowed things to impact you. How do you then get back out of that and back into?
Be happy.
Just
Be
joy.
happy.
The
Be
joy of the
joyful.
Lord is your strength.
However you need to find joy in tribulation, find that joy. Because here's the thing. The church has tried to classify, and religion has tried to classify joy in a different way. Find your own joy.
Glory to God.
Find your own joy, because wherever that joy is, God's there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Find that joy. If it's taking off your shoes and walking in the grass, so be it. If it's hugging a tree, so be it. If it's talking out loud, so be it. Talking to the birds and the trees, so be it. Talking to the ancient ancestors that ain't nobody can see, but they there. Spirit world is more real than the natural world, trust me.
Going to a rock store.
Oh man, have fun there.
Yeah.
All these things are forms of meditation, because meditation is slowing the thought of resistant thinking. You're stopping the thought of resistant thinking. So when I'm in that place of neutrality, I have to tell that story of how to be happy while this experience is happening, because in the next 30 minutes, is it going to be the same? No. Is it going to be the same in 1 year? No. 20 years? Absolutely not. Unless you keep going back in that memory and dragging it forward. Then that's the only way that can stay alive. Does that make sense? So you have to be aware of that. So, beloved friends, learn to look beneath the scenes, learn to feel beyond the body, learn to allow your eye, that is our outer edges of your field of awareness. Notice I didn't say eyes. I want you to use your third eye. I want you to connect your heart and your third eye. That's what's going to get you grounded. Meditation gets you grounded, okay? Come to realize that the experience you are most familiar with, that is of being body-mind, who reads or listens to words which are a vibration of sound, translate them into language, and therefore perceive that you are having a conversation with one being who happens to be in another body, is a very limited perception. We are all what? One. I don't see Sister Washington. I see one. I don't see Melissa. I see one. I see one. And all one of us are having an experience that create God. Oh, I hope y'all catch that. Everybody, oh, I didn't get no amen though, but it's okay.
Amen.
That's all right.
We're still digesting.
And that's okay, because remember, each one of y'all called me during the week and said, Pastor, I get it.
Right.
The words catch you later, and that's fine. It's designed to, because we're planting the seeds, and you don't yell at the seed to do what?
Grow.
Let it cultivate.
Yeah.
Let it go through the process.
Hallelujah.
Enjoy the process. The farmer knows when to go out and plant the seed, regardless of what the other farmers are doing. They might look at the calendar and say, this is the time to harvest, plant the seeds, and they might have a harvest that's okay. But then that farmer says he's going to go pick out the right seed with the right germination, and he's going to talk to that seed and love that seed and bless that seed. And then he's going to go till the ground. He's going to say, oh, this ground is not good. Let me scrape off the overhead and let me get to the good soil. Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to plant the seeds. Then I'm going to do this and this and this and this. And then each day I'm going to come and say, I love you so much, bed, because you're going to give me the best sleep ever. You're better than any sleep mattress that's on the market.
Hallelujah.
My bed is air.
Hallelujah.
And my body is air. My mind is empty and my body is free, because when I'm free, my spirit travels.
That's good. Teaching.
Because that's the truth. Does that make sense? Woo. Recognize that around the edges of that, there is something far more vast, something that which can be cultivated, that allows you to be aware of much more refined levels. Eventually, you will be able to perceive that these dimensions of energy, that the eye open. As you look upon another body mind who is currently having an experience of vibrating thoughts through it's directed toward you, here's where people are angry at you, and you feel it. You walk into a room and you feel that energy in that room, and you do two things. You either do what? Fight or flight.
Yeah, you need to change. Yeah.
Or you try to go and heal that person. You try to lighten the mood. Most of us who are not grounded want to run because they don't like to be in crowds. Don't like the energy there. So can't wait to run back to the house and be in the four walls, because you don't know who you are. Don't know the power you have to heal those that are around you. Instead, they're running you back in. So you run in, grab your island, and they can run back out. Don't nobody see you, talk to you. I mean, I have experienced that. Absolutely. Not everybody, but that's the culture and the mind that has been created over time. And you have to keep rooting these things out over and over and over and over and over. It's a process. That farmer keeps going out and de-weeding the garden. The garden is the consciousness of your mind, okay? Practice this little exercise as often as you choose in any and all circumstances. It is not difficult. You simply use the field of your consciousness to decide to be aware of around the edges of the third dimensional experience you're having. Be aware. In other words, here's the thing. You're aware that those thoughts are there. You know how many people are asleep and don't know and keep running with those thoughts? To the point they get migraine headaches and it affects their body. And then all of a sudden they're popping these Motrin and popping Advil and popping Bear and popping these things, trying to get rid of something they created.
That's good teaching.
High blood pressure, stress, all these things come from that. Practice the 5-minute meditation. Really, I say 15, 20, because if you're not used to it, it's going to take you 20 minutes just to get the mind to stop thinking. Until you get where I'm at, then you can meditate instantly, no matter where you're at, instantly.
Yes.
Always in a place. I showed you all how to do it. But everybody has to learn their own meditation. A lot of people run from meditation. They don't want to practice it. They feel it's a burden. Some people think it's an occult or whatever their thought process is about it. They don't practice it to the fullness, to the completeness. You have to meditate day and night. Literally day and night, meditate, find a place. Walking in the grass is meditation. Can you get that there? Does that make sense? When you're in an automobile and you pull up to a red light, as you sit to another automobile with a driver, look over through the physical eyes. If you limit yourself, you'll see an automobile with another body sitting behind the wheel, similar to what your body or what you call your body is doing. What if you allowed yourself to play by looking at that being and saying within the mind, this is but one small expression of that being. I wonder what's occurring around the edges. When I say edges, that's the unknown. What happens if I look into the unknown and see that person as pure positive energy of love and not just a person behind the wheel? Now, what type of experience do you think I'm going to create for the rest of my day? Ooh. Yeah, because now I'm going to see everybody how. If I see this person over here and I start judging how they clothes look, what type of car they driving, what this person over here is doing, blah, 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 then I create that in my day, okay? You might surprise yourself when suddenly a thought comes into your consciousness. You know that that thought is not yours. It could be a thought of a person in the car saying, my God, why didn't I give the kid my kids lunch money for school? Oh, they will be hungry and disappointed. How many times have thoughts like that entered your mind and you have dismissed them as imagination? Every last one of us. Last one of us, correct? What you're suggesting here is to use the most ordinary moments of your day to become aware of your own being, your own natural, expanded, unlimited self. There is nothing hidden at any time. There is nothing hidden at any time. Everything is revealed to you. Everything. In any moment, you have full access to the totality of another soul. We are one.
You have full access to another.
You have access to Brother Meekin, Lord Cthulhu, anytime you want. We played in Home Depot. Did we have fun? Had a great time. You and I played in the spirit too, didn't we? Yes. I played with Lily. I played with Anthony. We've all played in the spirit. Played with you numerous of times, and you've all been with me for years and years and years and years and years and years and years.
Oh.
You guys are old souls, except for Anson.
Oh,
And these kids here.
5,000 years.
So that makes me even ancient, doesn't it? I'm older than all of y'all.
5,000, he's even more than 5,000 years.
Because there's no time.
No limitation.
We have to put years so humans can understand
Yeah.
that conceptual part of it.
Yeah.
Because your soul is eternal. It makes sense?
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Time is created by us.
Everybody got it? Okay, we go through the 4 questions real quick, affirmations. No, we didn't get into this, but we'll get into it next week. But number 1, you are the creator of your reality. Yes. What is the way of transformation? Getting your mind right and knowing that you have a relationship with God and there is no separation. Everything that we're doing now in lesson 2 is the way of transformation. Part 1 that we just finished was the way of the heart. We had to learn love through the heart. So I open up your heart and your third eye so that we can expand love and wisdom. So now as we go into transformation, now we're going to be like butterflies. We're in the cocoon, ready to come out. Does that make sense? So the way of transformation is what you're growing into as new ascended masters. That's who you are. For you're good, holy, and beautiful. Make sense? How do you begin the way of transformation? Change your mind. Simple as that.
Change.
Change your mind. If you change your mind, you change your perception.
Yep.
Simple as that. This is not hard. It's very simple, but it's a practice that has to continue. Number 4, how does this transformation bring awareness? You start catching the thoughts. You begin to awaken to who you are and the dominion you have. Not only just over manifesting things, but over the air, the water, the elements. Ooh, say amen, Pastor.
Amen.
See, we've been lazy in what we've been doing because y'all we jump behind automobiles when you're supposed to be walking on water and projecting yourself.
Exactly.
The master showed you how to do it. Buddha showed you how to do it. Everybody showed you how to do it, but then we don't do it.
How Buddha show us?
Buddha showed you. Buddha came in wealthy and denied the wealth and went in and showed miracles upon miracles upon miracles. When we say Buddha, that is the anointed one, which y'all know, but there are many Buddhas, just like there are many Christs. They're all part of my Kohan. But they're just in different rays. I'm in the 2nd ray. Buddha and Yeshua, that you know as Christ, is in the 6th ray.
So how Buddha, what you say, how Buddha show?
He did miracles beyond what they were have. He was there 2,500 years before Yeshua, Christ. He was the first that was sending. The first. He is known in the 4 as the master of masters. But this is deeper teaching. Not your mind and yours, but to get you an understanding of how it all works and how the dynamics are and how you all play a special role in this. Everybody has a role. Everybody is part of the divine plan. Everybody is help creating the divine plan. Those who are awakened here are going to go out and wake everybody else up. I don't need you here being a member. I just need you to be friends. Have a relationship.
That's good.
We can talk, we can visit, but your job is to go out and let the next group come in and get them filled up and go on. Affirmation. I am an unstoppable being of love and determination. Everybody get that? I am an unstoppable being of love and determination. Any questions, comments, concerns? I know we didn't get into that, but still a great lesson. Yes, yes, yes. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I think real, not a concern, but just synchronicity. Noticing really cognizant of my surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
I get in the car this morning and I had 44 miles.
Mm.
And then,
Wait till you know who you are.
and then it was 55. Then I look up and it's 55 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at all of these, like all day long yesterday.
444, archangels, 555, major changes come. The archangels are helping you bring in major changes. Why? Because you're the creator of your reality. Ask and it's given. This is where the 5 steps come in, where ask, but you have to ask from what? A place of what? And satisfaction.
Right.
So the 555, I also got 555 yesterday.
Major change coming. Major positive changes coming.
These days I receive a lot of 5s.
Me too.
Major positive changes. And all of you are going to start seeing how many have started seeing synchronicities? How many have seen synchronicities? 444, 1111, 111, 222, 122.
Mine's always 8.
8. You're rich. That is the number of abundance.
Yeah.
I always see 8 because that's the number I can see.
That's your.
She choose.
That's good. But watch this. Here's the secret. If you turn the number 8 sideways, what do you have?
Infinity.
Infinity.
So now you're infinite what? Wealthy, infinite abundant, infinite prosperity.
Yeah, because she choose to only want to see that number.
Because that's her number.
Oh, that's your number.
Because if I see a row of numbers, I can only see 8 and they're very bright.
That's your number. That's your.
Yeah, so Melissa, you cannot blame me.
For being rich, right? Anson, you're going to start seeing them, but your synchronicity is a little bit different. Yours is a little bit different, which is because the new ascended masters, their synchronicity is different than ours. Not that there's no difference, but his is going to be a different shift. These children are more advanced. But the older generation said, oh, they're lazy, they're this, and they're not. They're just more tapped in, turned on. They can manifest easily and quickly more than we can because they don't have all the other stuff that we carry.
Right.
They refuse to accept what we're trying to shove down their throats. And we call them rebellious.
Okay, so I shared my daughter the teachings, and she was with me when I lost track of time. So we had prayer. I said, well, let's just close this out of prayer because I'm feeling a high vibration. So we're going to manifest because of what I'm feeling right now. And now I learn how to pray with people. If I'm in that high vibration, I know I'm about to manifest.
Oh, yeah.
She just texted me and said, yay, I sold 3 things on eBay. Okay, just that.
Just that easy, just that easy, just that easy. It's too easy. I keep telling y'all it's what too easy. See, Anson is the easiest one to manifest. Quickly and easily. He don't know it, but he's easily and quickly manifest.
You see, Anson, quickly.
Quickly and
Okay,
easily.
see your mom beside you?
Quickly and easily. This is why, and I love you all, but this is why I love Anson, because he's my favorite.
Oh.
What y'all think? He's my favorite, I don't care.
So you have a reason to be here today. You heard that? Help your mom to manifest.
There you go. All right. But if there's no other questions, comments, concerns, I'm still working on your list that you sent me.
Okay.
So be patient with me.
Okay.
Working on it. I have not forgot. Love them all. Trying to tailorize and personalize to each one of you all. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
If there is
Say
nothing
thank
else,
you to Pastor Mickey.
Thank you.
thank you again, Heavenly Father, once again, for just opening up our hearts and minds to receive your infinite divine wisdom, your unconditional love, your unconditional forgiveness, your unconditional peace. And we thank you, Lord, for using us for signs, wonders, and miracles. We go out to have dominion over all, to create a place and space of love for all that we encounter. And we thank you for these that are here, that you give them traveling grace as they depart. Bless over the health, their finance, their prosperity. Continue to give them your infinite mind. And we thank you for so many things. And this is our prayer that we offer up. And we all say amen, amen, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right. You have a blessed. Love you all. And I'll be putting this on the YouTube, okay?
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.